This circle shows the maximum radius of the fireball in the fission bomb. The fireball burns 10,000 times hotter than the surface of the sun, and is hot enough to ignite the fusion of reaction in hydrogen bomb. In the first millionth of a second after the detonation, the bomb materials heat up to extreme temperatures. The fireball forms immediately from the burning bomb residue, and it emits an enormous amount of energy as X-rays, light and heat, expanding out as it cools. It basically says here that anyone inside the fireball would be completely wiped out. So that's this radius here. So now we've got the shockwave, which is the orange bit, which is basically a big portion of New York as well. So as the fireball quickly expands, it forces back the surrounding air, creating a shockwave. The point where the ambient air pressure jumps in, called the shockwave, shock front, an invisible destructive force moving out from the centre of the blast. At this radius, the pressure of the shockwave is strong enough to destroy most buildings, so most buildings in this area of New York will be completely wiped out, except for those that are reinforced hurricane force winds accompany the shock front, adding to the destruction. While the human body can survive a significant pressure jump in high winds, anyone in this area is likely to be injured or killed by collapsing structures or winds. That's a lot of people. I mean, look at this. 893 square kilometres. That is huge. That's a massive city. That would wipe out a big city. That's just the shockwave. Then we've got the heat, which is pretty much all of New York City, really. Look at this, 8,289 kilometres squared. I mean, that's bigger than the county I live in. That's huge. That's bigger than Lincolnshire, the county I live in. It could wipe out a few cities even. I mean, it's a big area. Of course, New York's a huge city. You can see the boundaries here, look. This is Manhattan. Is it that Manhattan? Yeah, no, that's Manhattan there, that tiny bit there. So within this radius shown here, wood, clothing, paper and plastics would catch fire. Even outside this boundary, the heat would still be intense enough to cause first and second degree burns. So anyone within this radius would have severe and fatal burns. That's huge. Let's do another one. Let's do London. What would happen if a nuclear bomb dropped here? That's the fireball. So in this bit, everything would be completely destroyed, wiped out, gone in a second. Then we've got the shockwave. As the fireball quickly expands, it forces back the surrounding air, creating a shockwave. The point where the ambient air pressure jumps is called the shock front, an invisible destructive force moved out from the centre of the blast. At this radius, the pressure of the shockwave is strong enough to destroy most buildings, except for those that are reinforced. Hurricane force winds accompany the shock front, adding to the destruction. While the human body can survive a significant pressure and jump in high winds, anyone in this area is likely to be injured, killed by collapsing structures. So all this is huge. Look at the size of this, that orange bit there. I mean, that goes right from Wembley. I don't know how much you guys know London, but if we look, it goes right from Wembley down to Bromley, so pretty much all of central London. But the fireball destroys all of Greater London. It goes beyond the boundaries of Greater London. I mean, that's Greater London there. I mean, the heat. So that everyone in this area will suffer third-degree burns. And there'll be 4 million fatalities. To think there's probably about 14 million in this area. That's 1 in 3 people would have died. And then, of course, another 3 million. So that's 4, 5, 6, 7. So pretty much half the population would have either been severely injured or killed. It's quite a lot of people, guys. And this is the T-SAR bomber, the most destructive one, which is the USSR bomb. Now, I'm not saying that all this is true because you don't know, but in case it is, you know, when they have the weapons to do this and that this is what they plan to do, it's going to be very destructive. Can you imagine? I mean, Russia has about 1,600 of these things, well, hundreds of these things detonated all over. Yeah. Mental. You know? I mean, Berlin has about 4 million, 8 million in the metropolitan area. Wow. That's all of Berlin gone, by the looks of it. Mad. Two million fatalities. 868,000 injuries. They've even taken it off the site now. 66 million. 2025, 15 million people will be living in the UK. So it's quite a drop. United States. Again, 2017 population 327 million. Population in 2025 100 million. That's 227 million people disappeared. Australia 23 billion down to 8 million. What? That's dropped. Blimey. That's a big drop. I thought last time it was about 15 million, but it's gone down to 8 million. I mean, that's pretty much 2/3 disappeared. What I find a bit weird, though, of course, is you've got countries like China and Russia that go up for some reason, but I don't know. I'll have to wait and see, but they're building up to something, guys. Maybe it's a distraction, but I think they're ready for another big event. Yeah. I'll have to wait and see.